This is the epitome of comfort food. As it cooks in the oven, it forms a banana butterscotchy sponge on top, and on the bottom, you see a big layer of kind of butterscotch banana sauce. It is divine. I'm going to start with the dry ingredients first. I've got 125 grams of plain cream flour in here that I've sieved. Not essential to sieve it though. And then I'm going to add in quite a lot of baking powder, 3 tablespoons of baking powder. And then 115 grams of caster sugar. Whisk the dry ingredients around just to kind of mix them up. Okay, then in another bowl, beat an egg and whisk it. Add in 1 banana that I'm going to mash. I meanwhile have an oven preheating to 180 degrees. You can use for this quite ripe bananas like you would for banana bread. It'll just be lovely and sweet. It'll be perfect. Okay. And then add in some melted butter. I've got 85 grams of melted butter here. 250 mils of milk. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract or essence. So whisk the wet ingredients around and add them into the dry ingredients. This makes quite a wet cake batter, so don't worry if it does look a little bit runny. This can be made in advance, this whole pudding. It keeps surprisingly well and even reheats surprisingly well. So pour this wet kind of cake batter into the pie dish. This pie dish is a 1.25 or 1.5 litre capacity pie dish. And in the saucepan here, I've got 100 grams of brown sugar. Just going to turn on the heat. And into the brown sugar, I'm going to add 175 mils of water and 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. This then gets poured on top of the wet cake batter. And some of it kind of forms a crust on top, a tiny bit of a crust, and then the rest of it kind of sinks down through the cake to make this kind of butterscotch sauce in the base. But it needs to be poured down through the cake batter. It doesn't work putting this in the bottom of the pie dish first and then the sponge on top, because I've tried that. As soon as it comes to the boil, turn off the heat and pour it over the cake mix. You're not going to see the pattern on top, you know, once it's cooked, so don't worry about how you pour it. But these two pour it pretty evenly all the way around. There. So immediately put it into the preheated moderate oven. This will take between 30 to 40 minutes to cook, and when it's cooked, it'll be a rich, deep golden brown on top, and then underneath the bubbling butterscotch sauce. Oh, gorgeous. It just feels just about firm on top, but you can feel that it's still a little bit wobbly underneath the layer of sponge. So, I've got some whipped cream. You definitely need either whipped cream or vanilla ice cream to serve with this. So I can cut some with a spoon. Yum. And I can take a little bit of the toffee sauce and drizzle it over it. And then a nice big blob of softly whipped cream.